and welcome back to season 2 of the Your Petty Friend podcast. We took a little break, but now we're back.
Yeah. Sorry, Teddy's very cute.
Teddy's here. He just got re-groomed today. We can get into that a little bit. But we're here for season 2. This is so exciting. It's weird because we took a little break.
Out of practice.
We took a little break. Good thing is I still know how to set up the cameras, the SD cards, the microphones, the computers to get it all going. I was a little scared there for a second. But now we're back.
We're back.
But now we're back.
That's really nice.
So Teddy had to get re-groomed today. I took him to get groomed on... I took him to get groomed on Friday. He's been going to this groomer's since the pandemic. So these people know him, if that makes sense. This business decided to open a new location. I don't want to say it. A new location in LA.
Okay.
And it's closer to where the other location was, so I started taking him to this new location. And he's been going to this new location for like a while now. And I go to drop him off on Friday. His appointment was at 1. I pull into this parking lot, right? There's a group of retail of employees of this business standing in the parking lot, like talking.
Right.
There's like 4 of them. One was this beautiful, tall, muscly guy, right? That obviously, for obvious reasons, like caught my attention. But I was like, I'm not here for that. I'm here to drop my dog off to get groomed.
Right.
His hair was really, really long, so he was overdue, and his nails were really long. I walk into the store I'm holding Teddy, walk all the way to the back because that's where the groomers are, drop him off. It's a new groomer who was very nice, went over the instructions in the system left over by the previous groomer. And I was like, I want it exactly how he did it. The last groomer did a really great job. So just do that again. And he was like, understood, it'll be a few hours and I'll call you when he's ready. Okay, totally fine. I go to walk out of the store and I notice that the food that Teddy eats, his kibble, is on one of the shelves. And I was like, oh, let me see how much it is here because I normally get it from Amazon, but it's been going up in price on Amazon.
Right.
So I walk over to the shelf and I'm looking and it's at the very top. So I'm looking up, completely zoned out, and I'm looking at the price and I was like, damn, it is cheaper in store than it is on Amazon. A completely different store employee comes up behind me and he goes, hi, did you need help with anything? And he scared the shit out of me. And I kind of jumped back because I was startled. I turn around and he was I was like, oh, because I was like, who is this guy talking to?
Yeah.
And so I look at him and I'm like, oh, it's, I was like, oh, I was just seeing what food options you have for dogs. And he was like, okay, if you need anything, let me know. He then walks to the front register and I follow him because I'm done. I need to get back in my car and go home. Like Teddy's dropped off. I'm done here for right now.
Right.
So he walks up to the front register. I'm probably 5 feet behind him. He goes up to the big muscly guy that I saw in the parking lot and he goes, yeah, that guy's definitely Verse. And I was just like, damn.
What gave it away?
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, at least let me get out of the store.
Yeah,
at least let me get out of the store. So then that happened. I go home. I crawl into bed so I can take a nap. And the second I fall asleep, my phone rings and it's them saying, Teddy's ready. So then I go back and Nicolette, when they brought him to me, I was like, so not only have you sidestepped me and called me out of my name, you fucked up my dog's haircut.
Yeah.
And so...
it's not super smooth, but yeah.
So here's the thing. $120. Oh, wow. His haircut. Teddy's 8 pounds, 9 pounds on a good day.
Yeah.
it's a lot, but they do a good job, so it's fine, right?
Right.
I called Jake immediately, and I was like, they fucked up his haircut. And Jake was like, I was like, but what do I do? Like, do I call? Do I, like, complain? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't want to be that person. I really don't. But I'm like, his hair looked bad.
Yeah.
And so I let it go. Yesterday, I was at the gym. It was leg day. I was on the leg press machine, like, pushing heavy weight. And my brain was like, call them right now. And so as I'm on this machine, I call and I was like, hi, I'm really sorry, but my dog got groomed yesterday and I hate it. It just looks unfinished, like almost like they didn't do anything. And they were like, we understand, but the grooming services at this location are actually closed on the weekend, because I called yesterday, which was a Saturday.
Yeah.
But the same employees work at the other location. So let me transfer you to them and they'll take care of it for you. So I did that, and the lady was so nice on the phone. And I was just like, I'm really sorry, but like his hair doesn't look right. And so they were like, bring him back tomorrow at 10 and we'll fix it. And so I went, and it was like all new people there. And his groomer from that location, from when he used to get his haircut there, was there. And she was like, I've cut his hair before. And I was like, yes. And she's like, you normally get it really short. And I was like, yes. And she goes, okay, give me 30 minutes. Hand him over. An hour later, she calls me that he's ready. I pick him up. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, his ears don't look that
Yeah,
cute.
so they were longer.
Yeah.
They're
just a little
they left
chopped.
it like here. And so I told her, I was like, just chop them.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's why they look like that. But all in all, he looks a lot better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yours is on mute. There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Hello?
Nicolette.
Wait. Is it really?
Wait, talk into it.
Hello? Hello? Oh, I don't know. I didn't talk that much anyway.
Oh, wait, no, but it's picking it up. Okay,
It is
maybe it's a
picking it
little
up.
slow.
Maybe it is.
Okay,
it's a
it's
little
fine.
delayed. I don't know what's
It's
going
fine.
on.
So
Some technical
that's
issues.
my story with this dog, but he's happy to be back home. I'm happy that he looks like this now.
Okay. Well, he looks adorable.
Thank you. He's making me really hot right now.
Yeah. Well, I can take him.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the elevator.
Yeah.
I run cold. You run hot.
I run really, really warm.
Yeah, he is really warm.
He's hot.
He's hot.
So what's been going on with you? Let's talk about, I really want to get into the house, Coachella weekend 1, Coachella weekend 2, Stagecoach.
Okay. Can we stay on dogs for a second?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So remember, like, the last episode we were talking about how we don't feed our dogs human food?
Uh-huh.
I feed my dog human food now.
Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, okay.
So Thor's just been getting, a little bit chunky, and he's been, kind of acting like not really healthy, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know. So I started doing some research, and I was just like, I think I just need to add fresh food to his diet. So I'm adding water to his kibble so it's more hydrated, because I guess really dry kibble is not good for them to process.
Like their stomach, I'm
yeah.
assuming.
And then if you add like 20% fresh food into their diet or whatever, like it should help, elongate their life.
I was going to say, like, health and wellness.
Yeah, the health and wellness aspect of it. So I did some research, and I found a recipe, and I cooked this big batch of food, and it's like the most random ingredients, but they're good for dogs. And I tried it, and I was just like, it's like ground beef and tuna mixed together, which is
gross.
Yeah. But it's not for humans, it's for dogs.
Right.
And so, but it's like ground beef that I would eat, tuna that I would eat, fresh sweet potatoes, fresh carrots and green beans, and then turmeric. And so it looks yellow, and
it's
it
like
looks
orange.
Yeah. And so it's like, it just feels, I consider my dog Mexican, but I feel like I'm feeding him Indian food because it's orange and it looks like curry.
Right. Okay.
So now my dog is like getting fresh bowls of food, and he actually looks a lot better. Like he looks.
So it's working.
I feel like mentally he's just a lot happier because he's getting like fresh food every day.
Okay.
And now I'm just like I'm telling myself that he's more healthy, but it's only been a week, so I can't really tell. But after 1 week, I'm like, I think there's improvement. So
we're gonna say that there is. We're gonna say that you're really.
So I become the person that
cooks for the dog.
Cooks for my dog. Yeah.
I'm not there yet with Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
We did have yesterday was my dad's 60th birthday. We threw him a surprise party, and we had Versailles catered. So Teddy had a lot of ropa vieja. Oh. Yesterday, like a lot of it.
Isn't there spice in that? Or no, it's Cuban.
It's fine now.
Yeah.
Like he pooped it out this morning, so it's fine. It was a lot.
I know spice is bad.
Too much seasoning. I know, if it's too seasoned, if something is too seasoned, he'll throw it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he ate like a king yesterday.
He sure did. He like a Cuban king. Okay. Can I just say, catering from there was $1,000.
I believe it.
I was in shock.
Yeah. You know who has like good, decent prices for catering is El Torito.
I love it. I love me some El Torito.
Yeah. My sister does catering for her office. She's like in charge of that. And so she knows like all the best catering spots.
And she goes to El Torito.
And she says El Torito gives her the most food for
the least amount of money.
Yeah.
The most bang for your buck.
Most bang for your buck.
I used to go to the El Torito in Marina Del Rey with my friend Sandra. You remember Sandra?
Yeah.
When we were like in our early 20s and for like happy hour and get absolutely obliterated off of pictures of mango margaritas.
Yeah. It's good. I want to go on a Tuesday. I heard they're talking.
I love El Torito.
Really
I love Chili's. I love Applebee's.
Oh, I went to Cheesecake Factory.
Love a Cheesecake Factory. Okay, Jake and I got that this week. We like Uber Eats it, which is so foul, but
yeah.
I love it so much.
That's fine. I think it's valid.
They have a Janina and I will go. We get the same thing: chicken Caesar salad, and then she'll get a Diet Coke, and I'll get a Sprite, or like if we're feeling fancy, we'll get a glass of wine.
Yeah, that was on like a list of like if a man takes you to Cheesecake Factory on a first date, red flag, and I'm just like, not for me.
That's a green flag. That's an absolute green means go. Like the keys to my heart. I'm going to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, because you know that it's just gonna be. I don't know. Their menu is so fascinating to me. I want to see their kitchen.
Everything. Yeah. It's like everything. The kitchen must be like a compound.
Yeah.
Like salads on this aisle. Everything above 2,000 calories in this aisle. Like all the cheesecakes and desserts on this aisle. I took a first date there. This was before Jake. And I had wanted to take him to Korean barbecue, but he was like, I don't really eat meat like that. Okay. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. Like I would have picked somewhere else. And then I was like, what about cheesecake? And he was like, please. And I was like, see, I thought this was your phone. This is my phone. No,
it's yours. I thought it was mine too. That's why I was sitting on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my new dog mom life.
She's into the cooking for the dog.
Yeah. I was so adamant about it before, and now I'm just like, I went on just this whole like hyper fixation on like what can I do to fix my dog kind of thing.
Sure, holistically.
Yeah, holistically. Because anytime I take him to the vet, they just give him meds and I don't know, and shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not that. I think it's something else. So,
the diet.
Yeah, I think it was the diet. Yeah. But yeah, so that's nice.
So wait, how is Coachella weekend 1, weekend 2, and Stagecoach?
So this was the first time that I rented all 3 weeks from like different people in my life. Different like social groups,
like
if that makes sense.
Friends of friends.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was just like, I mean, which has been the norm, but it was like weekend 1 was I got connected through our old coworker, the British one.
Lena.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, we can name her.
We'll get her on. We love Lena. She's the best.
I mentioned the podcast to her the other day, and I don't know if she watches it, but she's aware of it. So whatever.
She'll be on it. If you're watching Lena, we're going to get you on here when you're in LA one day.
Yeah.
Lena's funny.
She's going to New York next week, which I'm very jealous. But anyway.
Okay.
Sorry. Random tangent. So she connected me to
the first renters. Yeah. Which are people in the music industry. Very cool. They're very connected.
Yeah. Known, connected. Been in,
who I have randomly had a connection to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she asked me about like how I knew Lena, and then she knew a lot more information than I would cared for her to know, but it was fine. Like,
yeah. I had really long story short, or from why I know this person.
Yeah.
The person that rented it from Nicolette, I had interviewed with years ago.
Like almost like right after.
Right after.
Yeah. After we worked together.
Correct. And you mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh my god, was it that person that looks like this, this, and this?" And Nicolette was like, "That's her." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Well, that explains why she knew so much."
Yeah, no, to backtrack on that, she knew a lot of like where we worked.
Yeah,
Nicolette and I, where we worked together.
Yeah, I find that always
fascinating.
It's always fascinating for me because I never like name dropped. It was never relevant to the places I went after, if that makes sense.
Correct,
because I went
still
to like
relevant to the music places,
right?
To
To
this
music
day.
to this day,
People
still relevant,
mm-hmm.
and I find that so fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it was crazy, but it was small world. I didn't realize Lena was working for them.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. But I'm like, so I follow my friends in the music industry, but then I don't. Like, I pay attention.
You follow them, but like not the careers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
just
I am
like,
anyway.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not gonna like do a deep dive unless like I'm really, really interested, and I haven't really. Yeah. Anyway, it was really nice. It was really nice to have that introduction.
Were they nice?
They were really nice.
Okay.
They were all professionals. They were just there to like work, and this person in particular has been in the music industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm just here to do what I need to do, go home, and that's it. I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
When it comes to like I like renting it to people who are there to have fun, and that was my weekend two. My weekend two was a repeat from last year, which was really nice.
I love that.
Yeah, because I was just like, that felt so validating to me because I'm just like,
you want to come back.
Yeah, and I met up. I had never met him in person, but I gave him his welcome bag in person because I couldn't make it out to the house and like set it up nicely. And so he was really cool about like just meeting me up, and I gave him his welcome bag. And
Nicolette has welcome bags for her guests.
Yes, and I'll talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
But he was like, I love the house, you're a great host, and like it's the way I price it, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. Like I'm not asking like these astronomical
I would say
prices.
I
for
would
what
say
it is.
it's very reasonably priced.
I think
for the size, what it comes with, and specifically the location.
Yeah, the location is not far.
Especially in the month of April for Coachella and Stagecoach.
Yeah, I mean the most expensive months are March and April, and in March is the tennis tournament at the Indian Wells.
Oh yeah.
So it's only,
oh god, she's right there.
Yeah, I'm only 2 miles from that too.
Well, we
so
pass
it's a
it
great,
all. We have to. We're close to it when we go to Five Guys.
I know. You know what? There's so many good food options over there, but at the same time, there's just something about like just getting what you want. I think when you first, I think whenever I first get there, it's like starving. It's like a 2-hour drive. Yeah. I just want to eat something that I know will hit me right. You know what I mean?
Five Guys, man.
Yeah. So.
I still want to go to that restaurant on the cliff, on that hill, on that mountain thing.
Yeah. We should definitely go. It's really pretty.
I haven't been in there yet.
The way it's lit up at night, like I was passing by it from like another street. It looks gorgeous. Like I don't know when.
You know what else was Guillermo's?
Guillermo's was really good.
Don't tell me, Palm Desert.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And then what about Stagecoach?
Okay, so Stagecoach, I rented it to my cousin's friends. They were her roommates, and I got to meet them because I was there at the house when they showed up. And so I got to talk to them a little bit, and they're just like cute and young college students
Gen Zers,
and they were I don't know. It was just really nice. I guess because everybody that stayed in that house has been kind of like millennial and older.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of nice to rent it to like the next generation or whatever.
The
young ones,
like how they function.
Yeah.
How they utilize the house.
And I gave them a pretty good deal because it was kind of like, it had been, kind of, Stagecoach was like right around the corner and I hadn't rented it yet. And so I reached out to my cousins and I was just sort of like, I was going to reach out to their dad because I know that he has like a lot of friends that love country music and all that stuff. But I wanted to reach out to my cousins first and kind of like give them that opportunity first in case.
To swoop on it.
Yeah, to swoop on it. And it's like maybe I can give it to them so that they could go. and my cousin couldn't make it, but her friends did. So her friends got to enjoy it, and I'm just, it was just really nice. I don't know. They were really sweet. They were respectful. They were just kind of there to have a good time, and I
Enjoy.
got along. Yeah, I got along with my main point of contact. She was really sweet too,
which is always a good feeling.
Yeah.
But
So
I
it was just
remember
really nice.
Nicolette was very stressed.
Oh, it had so much anxiety.
Yeah.
Because
she was very worried about getting it rented, but then look at that.
Yeah.
All 3 weekends.
And
boom,
I think,
boom, boom.
And I think like one of my friends lives out there, and her dad has a place out there too. And he, he's the one that kind of brought me out there when I was a teenager. And he's just sort of like, I think from my understanding, he was having a very hard time this year too. So I think it was just across all 3 weeks.
Correct.
And so it was just a bad year in terms of people wanting to book. And I found it so funny because like everybody was like saying how, Coachella's not selling out. There's not going to be that many people. It's in their flop era. And to me, all I could think of like, well, that sounds like the perfect Coachella to go to when there's not that many people. And sure enough, it's like everybody that did go was like, it was very chill. Like people weren't like, it wasn't like super crowded to where, you couldn't get a closer view of the stage if you wanted to.
You know what it's like to fight.
Because when it's so crowded, when it is sold out, it is so crowded. You have to push.
Sweaty people just rubbing up against you.
And then everybody that was, was following along to everybody's, experience of it. And it just sounded so great. And then, I don't know, at least in a more like manageable kind of people type of setting. And
Low
I think
stakes.
Yeah. And so it's just, sure, the headliners weren't like these super high draw people. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. But it's always like the sub headliners that you really, I don't know, matter.
It's when the print gets a little smaller.
That's when, a little smaller. Like those are usually the acts that end up becoming like headliners later on.
Correct.
Like Sabrina Carpenter is probably going to headline it at some point.
She's okay. I went from not knowing who she is.
She's everywhere.
I'm like, I can't get away from that espresso song. Like, what the everyone at work?
Oh, someone from where we used to work, but I worked with her and you didn't. She's like on the label side on her team. And I'm just like,
that's fun.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know that. I'm aware of like my friends' careers and like the artists that they have on their roster.
After who this is.
I think you could probably guess, but yeah.
It's like one person.
There's one person. It's one person it could be, and I don't think she's listening to this, so it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, I was just like, that's so annoying that I didn't really pay attention or pick up on that earlier, but I'm
before
glad.
She like had a big break. You're saying, I mean, you'll catch the next one though.
Yeah, I guess, but. It was fun. It was really nice. Oh, the welcome bags. I had this cannabis company named Tropicana. They contributed to the welcome bag, and that was really, really great. They gave me a lot of things for the goodie bags, and so I just want to shout them out.
Which is such a good idea.
Yeah.
And they're such cute goodie bags.
Yeah.
And they're not like
It's not cheap.
Not cheap is what I'm trying to say. Oh my God, I got stuck on that. Like they're not skimpy. There's a lot of stuff in them to help you along your journey through Coachella and Palm Springs. Yeah. And La Quinta.
And then I also had some gifts from someone I met recently. She lives in Long Beach too. She doesn't sell cannabis specifically, but she sells cannabis related products. So like her company's called Best Friend's House, and it's just like cute things to have around your house to make like the smoking experience better. And so
like ashtrays.
Yeah, like ashtrays. And then she like, I want to get one of these things. It's like a table lighter.
Okay.
And it's like it's something that was really popular in like the 70s and the 80s.
It was like the big ones.
Yeah, like the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you just kind of have on your table or something like that. And I don't know. I talked to her about that. Like I might try to like sell some of those products on like my online retail shop that I'm still kind of developing and trying to figure out how to make that like a functional business on its own. But just a lot. There's a lot of things that
It's
try
really
to do
coming
with that
along,
house.
though.
Yeah, little by little. I have to focus more on like the shop side of it. I just haven't, because it's like, I don't know, e-commerce is like its own beast in its own, and I just haven't focused on it as much as I should.
But
yeah,
you did it. You made it through the month.
made it through.
All weekends.
Picked up some freelance work too,
which we always appreciate.
Yeah,
We always love.
It's really nice. I think like, you know, the beginning, I don't know, since December, it's just been really difficult.
Yeah. But we're on the up and up.
Yeah. A lot of it has been, you know, this year started off really, really slow, but over April, it just feels like things have kind of turned for the better, which is really nice.
Your mood is a lot better.
Yeah, my mood's a lot better.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
nice.
I've been, I'm coming out of it, but I was heavily, and I talked about this in an episode with Michael, obsessed with Dune 2, to where I like found a link to watch it.
I still haven't watched it, but you did send it to
I got
me.
it on Reddit. And I've watched it like 5 or 6 times after watching it in the theater with Janina.
Wow.
And I became I'm still so fascinated by it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is that I love about it so much, but there's just something about it that I'm like, this is such a fun movie and so unexpected. And I knew nothing about Dune. I watched the first one and I was like, this movie sucks. Second one, obsessed with.
Yeah. I think the reason I haven't watched it is because there's a lot of like, depending on how you grew up, I grew up, you know, religious, and I guess there's a lot of connections to.
Heavy religious influences in that movie.
Yeah,
it's basically like, I don't want to say like a play on, but like a metaphor or an analogy or a comparison to how religions kind of grow, and a lot of crossover. I think I got it like the third time I watched it. I'm like, this is kind of like about like Catholicism and Christianity, and just love it. I just love it. I have to stop watching it. I have to stop talking about it.
Yeah, I just feel like
it's like not funny anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I might have a different reaction to it because of we grew up very different in that way.
Yeah, we did.
So that's kind of why I haven't been super like interested in watching it, because I heard that and
you
I'm
want
just
to be
like,
triggered. That's fair. It's a good movie. Like I saw it with Janina. I was supposed to see it with Jake, but then I found that link. So then I was like, oh, let's just watch it in my apartment. And it's like, it's not the same. Like when you go into the theater, it just consumes you. Like you surrender to this giant movie in front of you. But I was just like, we're watching this. Yeah. And I think I've beaten it into the ground. It's like 6 feet under my life right now, but that's how much I've watched it. And I've talked about it, and I cannot. There was a good solid like 3 weeks at work where I was walking around screaming Lisa and Al Gaib. We have to stop.
Can we talk about that comment that we got on YouTube?
Which one?
It was like a straight man who was like...
Oh, a straight man who was like, I wish I had gay friends to talk about Dune 2 with?
Yeah.
I
just
talk
thought
to
that
me
was
about
cute.
it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to. I know so much about it. I've watched countless YouTube videos about just the background of Dune.
Yeah.
Like, and the characters and like where they come from and their backstories. Like I did a deep dive of Dune.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing that with the Challengers right now, which you haven't seen.
I haven't seen, but I know this is one of Nicolette's topics today.
Yeah. Okay. So
take me on this journey with you.
Okay. So, but you're good on Dune.
I'm good. I'm good. We're not going to talk about it anymore. It's good. Okay. It's good. You'll never hear it on this podcast again. Go.
Okay. So my friend got me into a screening. So I saw it like a week before it came out.
Challengers.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just I'd seen some previews for it, but I wasn't super well aware of it. I just knew Zendaya was in it. And so I went, and I was like, I haven't seen a movie in such a long time where I was like completely invested throughout the entire thing. Okay. And the soundtrack is amazing, and
which is always good.
Yeah, it was, I think it was just it was just so, like, the cinematography was amazing. It made me want to be Not a tennis player, because that's another hobby that I don't need, but just get better at like my editing skills and get better at
like the
my sound
cinematography
design.
of
Yeah,
it. Okay.
the score, the score, and all of that. Because I'm an okay editor. Like I can edit this podcast and things like that, but I'm not like to that level where I would ever, take on projects like that from like a huge studio or whatever. But it inspired me to get better at all of that stuff. So it was amazing in that sense. And then the story of it, I couldn't get over how like the topic of bisexual men in that movie is
and
like,
that's what it's about. That's like the overarching theme.
I wouldn't call it the overarching theme, but I saw it twice because
watching the trailer, I did not pick up on that.
Okay, well,
I just thought Zendaya is here to get freaky.
Yeah, that's how it's presented, and it's not as freaky as the trailers make it out to be. There's a lot of like intimacy, but it's not like raunchy.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call it like, I think the trailers make it out to be a lot different than what it actually is.
Okay.
So Zendaya's character, she's this,
amazing
talent, black woman in the tennis world. She has like that plays a role in her development. She ends up getting injured very young. Oof. And because of that, she kind of, her tennis career is she's basically living her tennis career vicariously through these two white boys.
Because it had to stop with when it's like she like broke her knee or something.
Yeah, so it's without giving too much of it away, her relationship with one of the guys had an effect on the accident, and she ends up going with the other guy.
Because they were all friends.
They were all they were all pretty much friends.
So she was like homie hopping.
Yeah, so she pretty much so that's what she did, and it's hard for me to kind of talk about like all of the characters, and if I think there's Art and then there's Patrick. Patrick is the one that she's with in the beginning, and then she switches over to Art, and she's kind of presented as like the villain when you watch it the first time, because she's homie hopping, but at the same time she's so invested in tennis, and you can just tell that she's like mourning her tennis career. There's one point where she's watching TV, and this girl that she beat easily ends up winning the US Open, or, being undominated. So she's watching it, and you can just tell she's thinking like, that could have been me.
Yeah.
So her tennis career ends up revolving around Art, who she ends up marrying and having a child with later. And Patrick ends up coming back into the picture. And the final scene with all of them is like this tennis match. It takes place over the course of like them being in school to them being adults. So it's over the course of like 13, 14 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So it time hops a lot. Okay. And I think it's like a little bit difficult to follow sometimes. But at the same time, it's like, if you're paying attention, you can figure it out. They have different hairstyles and all that stuff.
Right.
Their hairstyles, I think, is a huge... Their hairstyles and their clothing, it takes a lot of... there's a lot of symbolism in that, too.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. I've been obsessed with that movie. And I think what the bisexual men aspect of it, it's like... Patrick starts dating Zendaya's character. I'm blanking on her... Tashi. Patrick dates Tashi at first, and he's like attracted to her, and it's very obvious. But there's also like this very clear attraction that he has to Art, and then Art is like in love with Tashi, and he kind of does some stuff that is a bit questionable to end up with Tashi in the end.
Okay.
And then it comes down to it. When it comes down to it, I think, and there's a couple people that feel this way. Patrick is just in love with Art. Art is in love with, I think, winning. A lot of people think that he's in love with Tashi, but I think he's actually in love with winning. And I think Tashi is in love with tennis. So I think there's just like, the
like
characters.
A perfect triangle.
Yeah, these characters kind of develop, and I don't know. The first time I watched it, Art was like the sad kind of character, like, oh, he's like kind of the victim. And then I'm just
Okay.
like, no. After watching it a second time, I'm just like, no, Art got what he wanted. He wanted to win, but the way he went about it was very much like...
Did he have like a take
He was
no
like
prisoners kind of attitude
Yeah,
of
I
like,
wouldn't say he was a
do
take
whatever
no...
it needs to take to get to the top?
No, it was
Okay.
more like I wouldn't say it was manipulative, or I wouldn't say it was vindictive, but it was very manipulative the way he went about it.
Okay.
And I think I question the fact that he actually loved Tashi. I think he just really saw her as like a way for him to win.
A stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like the worst character in the beginning, and he ends up being the champion at the end.
But like the champion to like the audience, or the champion of like tennis?
In their world, like that's how he's presented, as like the best, most successful player out of the three of them.
Got it.
But he wasn't the most talented. He was the most hardworking. And in the beginning,
Okay.
he's very, very scruffy. And at the end, he's very like well put together and clean shaven and immaculate. Like you just see this progression with his character in particular of being kind of like not that great to being the best out of all three of them.
Yeah.
And I really feel like he just kind of uses them because he's not really shit without them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. He is like a background singer who has
like
who's like stood the test of time by
Yeah.
like always working. If that like
Right.
finding a new gig that's somehow connected to who you were back in the day. Does that make sense?
And it kind of goes to that idea of like, hard work will beat out talent, because he is a very hard worker
Yes.
throughout the whole thing. He wasn't like the talented one. I think
He
other
wasn't
two,
the naturally talented one.
right, exactly. But I think he was just the most hardworking, and he understood how these two characters could help him win ultimately. So I don't have like the best opinion of him, but I also
Okay.
think that took a little bit. Sorry, I went on a total rant, but that was my
Yeah.
whole. That's my whole synopsis.
This is your Dune.
Yeah,
This is your Dune.
Yeah, and I've been getting all of the background and all of that, and yeah, if you haven't seen it already, well, that's my
She spoiled
opinion of
it.
it. Yeah.
She spoiled it. Which you wanted to bring up another show.
Yes.
That so random, so fucking random.
So at the same time that I'm like having this like deep dive on The Challengers, I also started watching Selling OC. Yes. And the topic of bisexual men in that show is really prevalent too. If you haven't seen
I wouldn't
it,
say it's prevalent. It's like one episode.
it's like one episode,
Or
but
one
it's
and a
like
half episode.
yeah, it's like it's the topic that it ends on. So it's obviously important. Like it's the topic that like starts all the drama. And what's so interesting about like Selling Sunset versus Selling OC is that Selling Sunset is an office of predominantly women, and
It's only women.
Yeah, it's only women. And I mean, except for the owners. And then Selling OC, it's the dynamic of like men and women. And so
It's very different.
very different.
Yeah.
Also, it's in Orange County, which for
Very
me,
different.
I know some of those houses just from growing up in Orange County.
That's my house. What,
No.
What is it doing on the show?
No, I just like, I've seen those houses like, just going to the beach, or I know where they are, or I know where they're located, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like some of those houses are.
Some of those houses are on the fucking beach.
Yeah, they're on the beach, and it's like they're just iconic in that sense for me at least.
Right.
Like I understand,
As a
like I know where
OC
they are.
native.
Yeah. Like I know where they are. I'm not saying like I hung out in those circles, but like I know where those houses are. So
Right.
from like a personal standpoint, I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like on the inside, like which is like
It's like Selling OC is your Zillow.
Yeah,
You're
pretty much.
using it as like,
Exactly. So whatever. I find it like really interesting in that sense. And, having like a real estate background, it's a nice look into that area.
yeah.
What I found so interesting about like the bisexual component is just the way there's this character, Sean, who he is a openly bisexual man. And then there's these other two guys, Austin and Tyler, who Sean basically accuses them of being like DL, like down low.
Well, he
queer.
accuses one of them.
He accuses one of them.
One of them.
Yeah. And then the other one is kind of like weirdly affectionate with him at first, at one point. And he kind of uses that. He starts telling everybody about this. And I think I'm still kind of like 50-50 on whether or not I believe
it's
him.
True or not.
Whether it's true or not. But I'm veering on to it's probably true to some extent.
Okay, like there's something there.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. Because Austin, Austin, he's a male model. He, is obviously...
He has a wife and kids.
He's a wife and kids. He was a male model at the beginning of his career, turned real estate agent. So it's not like he's not...
He's still a male model. Like,
he's still a male model. He's gorgeous. Yeah. But I think my perspective of like queerness in Orange County is that you don't talk about it. And I think
to this day.
Still to this day.
That's
or it's
crazy.
To me, it's like there's these rumors of like if you're queer, it's like you don't talk about it. It's like especially in those circles, because where there's like a lot of money involved, there's usually a lot of very, very conservative people involved.
Trump supporters.
And it's not, if you are queer, it's not necessarily something that you're supposed to talk about openly.
You're not going to see like pride flags.
No.
Right.
No. And like, I find him so interesting because he brought up swingers with another character in a previous season.
Okay, I don't know about this.
So he's brought it up. He brought it up with I forget her name, but he accused her of being a swinger, and so he's obviously like admitted to being.
There's like interest.
Yeah,
there's some kind of understanding.
Because it's been brought up. He brought it up himself in a previous season, and then it was brought up again by Sean.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just sort of, and the way he responded, there's this scene where it's very confrontational, and the way he responded was just so weird to me. It resonated with me because it kind of reminded me of how I responded to my own like bisexuality. Yeah. It's just like one of the things he said that I thought was so funny and so like kind of telling, at least from my point of view. He's like, "You're not even hot." And I'm just like, I mean, he's attractive, but it was just a weird thing to say.
You're like, that's not the right comeback.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt off to me.
So if on Twitter or on X, there's a lot of support of Sean.
Yeah.
Of being like, this guy's beautiful. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah. And then what I think is so interesting about Sean, and they bring it up a lot, is that he hasn't sold a house. And the reason why, and I think it's really interesting because he's playing in an environment that I can see his bisexuality hurting him from like on location basis. Yeah, like if he was in LA, I don't think he would have
it would be like not a big deal.
It would not be a big deal.
He'd be selling all the homes in West Hollywood. Right.
But the people that he's trying to appeal, second of all, he's also a man of color.
I was about to say
let's not pretend that that's not like an issue.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you have to be like, there's obviously other
blonde
characters.
Hair, blue-eyed, but that takes you a lot farther in Orange County though.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think for him, I think he's kind of fishing in the wrong pond, so to speak.
Fair.
And I think, I don't know. I don't necessarily, I guess he's not on the show anymore. I think that's probably best if he wants to keep doing real estate.
He might have left.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just find it so interesting, just kind of like dealing with my own personal experience and kind of having a small look into that world a little bit. I can see all of this kind of playing out in Orange County, and just like, it's one thing to be like bisexual, but it's another thing to be bisexual in Orange County in a very, very conservative area where most of their clients are probably very conservative.
When you're dealing homes of that price.
It's that price point.
Because like you're talking tens of millions of dollars for one home.
Right.
Which is a lot of money, which is one specific type of class within Orange County, which is white straight people.
Right. And he's trying to present himself as this family man that is, on the up and up. And he hears this guy who's talking about this side of him that he probably doesn't want out there. I think he brought attention to him in a way that he did not want. And his reaction to everything that I'm on Sean's side a little bit on that. I know that he kind of like messed up his story towards the end, but I also feel like that scene was very dramatic, and I can understand why, like, you know, when you're not in like the best state of mind, your story might not add up. Yeah.
It got a little weird at the end.
It did.
It got a little weird. Like it like fizzled in a really weird way.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel the same way when a straight woman will call a man gay, who's like either we all think he's straight or he's not out of the closet yet. But like there's something with when a straight woman calls out someone who's gay, and like this has happened several times in my life. Recently this has happened, and this female that I know really well was really interested in this male that I also know really well. And you know, she tried really hard to like get his attention for a really long time. And then one day she came to me, she was like, I think he's gay. And I was like, it's such a statement that I know it's true, because why would somebody make that up? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's such it's like you have to go through certain, like, I don't want to say obstacles, but like mindsets to finally get to that point.
Yeah.
That when she said it to me, I was like, not all, like, it's true. Like, I believe it, and I believe you when you say that. Lo and behold,
he ends up being gay.
it was.
Yeah.
It is. So, like, to your point, it's like the same thing where I'm like, why would somebody make that up? Do you know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, there's something there.
Yeah. In Austin's defense, I don't think he should have been outed at all. Like, I think Sean should have just kept that to himself.
Sure.
Because, like, regardless of where people are with their own sexuality, if they don't want to be
like
out,
not public business.
It's not anybody else's business.
Yeah.
And I
agree with that.
And I feel like, you know, they're on this very, very public stage, and for him to keep, you know, I don't blame Austin for reacting the way that he did either.
Of like, leave my shit out of the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's none of his business, and he's the one that like made it everybody's business, and now it's just like I feel for him on that. I
mean, it is a good story to tell.
Yeah.
That's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's just
it makes great television.
You know, I think, especially a show about Orange County, like.
You're like, damn, they're like swinging for the fences out here. Like, they're really going for it.
I just like, for me, that was wild to watch that season.
Yeah.
At least that aspect of it. I'm just like, damn. But yeah.
You're not even that hot.
Yeah. That part was just like.
You're like, that's what comes out of your mouth? Like that. Not.
Whenever I drive up PCH, I pass by the office, and I'm just like, gosh. It's just.
What office?
The Oppenheim office. It's right on PCH.
But PCH, like in Orange County?
Yeah, Newport.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, Malibu. No.
No.
It goes the other way too.
Yeah, it does.
Such an idiot. Same one. I'm such an idiot.
But yeah, it's right on PCH, and if you're just driving up the coast or down the coast, you'll pass right by it, that office.
It looks pretty from the show.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's from the front, it doesn't look like anything. They make it, you know, when they show it on the show, they have like an aerial view, and it looks like a lot bigger than what it is. Like, I almost missed it the first time, and then I like looked again. I'm like, oh, there it is. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, okay, it makes sense that it's here. Yeah, that makes sense. So, but yeah, I think those are two shows or movies and shows that I've been kind of like thinking about a lot.
She's like, I'm obsessed with them. I'm like, oh, when she came in here, I was like, oh, she wanted a whole rant before we even sat down. And I was like, girls, let's talk about this with the cameras on. Like, oh my God.
But I think I did okay talking about, I had a little bit of trouble talking about Challengers, but there's a lot of components to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to see it, so I told you to like go for it. Like, spoil whatever you want. I 1,000% looking at the trailer did not know that's what that movie was about. Yeah. I was like, a tennis movie. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, I think I think this is probably the most successful tennis movie but tennis movies as a genre tend not to do well. It's not like an interesting sport.
Right. But this is like the lives of
and how tennis plays a role. And I think with Tashi in particular, it's more of a story about, you know, a woman of color trying to get into a sport that is, you know, not very, it kind of comes up a lot. It comes up in her story, you know, how she's, she has to go to school because she doesn't have the options of like not going to school. Like one of the characters is a lot more well off and privileged.
Oh, I see. Sure. Like the financial class of it all.
Yeah,
you're saying.
The financial class of it all. Tennis is pretty much like at that level.
Rich person sport.
Yeah, at that level, you have money if you're interested in tennis, or you have like
sponsors or a financial backer of some sort, because like that's expensive.
Yeah, it's like it's not a cheap. It doesn't seem like that much, but it's a very expensive sport to be a part of because it's not so
like
mainstream.
Golf is the same way.
Exactly.
But I think golf, like anything that involves a horse.
Right.
Are you kidding? Tennis is one of them. What else?
I mean, F1, obviously, but
yeah, yeah, that's a lot of money.
Just like any of these sports that are not super mainstream, in order to get any attention or notoriety, you need money, unless you come from money. And so like that was one of the points for Patrick. He like came from money, so he didn't see, it was like very evident that he's like, why wouldn't you just go pro if you can go pro right now? And she says like, well, I don't have the option of like not being educated or something to that effect.
In case this doesn't work out, like I need to fall back on this.
Yeah. And so it's just like, you know, that plays a role. And then, you know, the injury plays a huge role in like her dreams getting crushed and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really heartbreaking. And she's kind of like, at the first time I watched it, I'm just like, it made me so uncomfortable because she's like, like as a person, like I love everything that she is, but to see her as that character, it made me uncomfortable. But the second time I watched it, I'm like, okay, this makes more sense now.
It's funny because Zendaya is also in Dune.
Yeah.
Every time she would come on screen, I'm like, Zendaya. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what her name is. And I mean, I do. But like in my head, I'm like, it's Zendaya. And then when it's Timothy Chalamet, I'm like, Tim. Like, it's Tim. I'm like, that's not their names at all. But I'm like, literally, they should have renamed the characters Tim, Timothy, and Zendaya.
The other actors, one is Michael Feist, who is a Broadway guy. And then the other one is Josh O'Connor. And
is he the British one?
The British one,
that speaks like a royal?
Yeah.
I randomly watched like a Vanity Fair YouTube.
Yeah.
Like before you got here.
Well, he was on that. I'm like, where have I seen this guy before? I'm like, I cannot figure out where I've seen him before. He plays Prince Charles as a teenager in the show The Crown.
That makes sense because he looks like, oh, I know exactly who this is. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I'm just like.
He has a big ears. Sorry.
Yeah, he does. But I just remember like, what it's like he's like attractive, but I'm like, I don't know why I don't find him attractive. And then when I figured that out later, I'm like, oh,
because you were the dickhead.
You were the dickhead in The Crown. Yeah, he was.
He was mean to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, Queen.
Like young. Yeah. Right? Diana. Sorry. I live in LA. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. But yeah, so he plays like a kind of a shitty character. His character is not my favorite in this movie either, but he does
a good job at being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's a great movie. I want to watch it again.
We have our obsessions. I have to stop. I can't talk about Dune. I cannot talk about this fucking movie anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm good on talking about those programs now. But yeah.
So okay. Your latest obsession.
That was my latest obsession. My latest like hyperfixation is my dog's dog food and those shows.
And Challengers and Telling the OC.
Yeah.
And mine is Teddy's haircut being outed at a dog store and Dune 2. We're going to let all this go.
Okay. I think we've got
I'm
it out.
also trying to plan a trip for my birthday.
Oh,
and all roads are leading to Mexico City.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So I might end up doing that. The shitty part about this is like I have to plan everything, which I hate doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a group of people. So I was like, I was like, I hate this part. Why can't I just show up?
Yeah, true.
And I have to plan that too. My birthday's in July and it's May.
Yeah. How many weeks away is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
8.
Okay. But
8, 10. My birthday's on a Saturday.
I think mine's on a Saturday too.
Oh, look who's waking up.
I don't remember when mine's. No, yeah, mine's on a Saturday too.
Oh, sweet.
But I
you have
don't
plans.
have any. I don't really have.
Oh, I thought you
plans.
did.
No, I have. Actually, I have plans your weekend. Yeah.
For what?
Your birthday weekend, I have
Oh,
plans.
you're going on a trip somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll be around.
Yeah. I don't know if I can. I mean, I want to take a nice trip, but I'm just staying local
What are you
lately.
doing? He's back from the dead, this one. There you go. But yeah, that's everything going on with me. I think there's so much more. It's been so long.
It's been a while.
It's been a while,
But
but
we
I've
talked
been.
about Coachella too.
We talked about Coachella. Jake and I are doing well.
Oh yeah.
I brought Jake to my dad's 60th birthday party at my sister's house. And like the family that met him the first time we dated were there this time. And some of them were like, he looks familiar. I was like, I mean, yeah, Jake is back.
How
Go
funny.
say hi. You already know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I know one of my cousins was like, are you guys like giving it another try? I was like, why the fuck do you think he's here? Would I just randomly bring an ex and just like, oh, you're just hanging out with
friends.
my family? Like, no, of course.
I don't know. I feel like a girl would do that.
She was a girl and she did that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just so funny. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. We're trying this again. But no, everything's going well. I'll be here a little later. We have another party to go to. Not a party. Another, my cousin's birthday dinner is
That'll be
tonight.
fun.
And I bring him everywhere I go now. That's what we do. So, you know.
That's good.
We have, we're going to do that later today. But other than that, just hanging out. It's sunny now.
I know.
It's
I'm
hot. The
not
pool
dressed
at my
for it
apartment
really,
building is
but-
popping. There's a bunch of people down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do for my birthday I don't know. I never plan anything for my birthday. We should probably get better about that.
Should go to Safari Wines. Malibu
No,
Wines.
I don't know if I want to do a repeat of that, but maybe. I don't know. I might go to San Diego. I'm trying to see.
Oh, this is what you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I met someone recently with an Airbnb in San Diego.
Yes.
So I'm trying to see if I can.
Like, do like a swap?
No.
Like a trade, or just like, let me just stay in your Airbnb.
Let me stay in your Airbnb.
Fairs. Okay.
Because it's not that I'm like, I mean, maybe a swap, but I don't really need to do that. But I like spending my money. I like knowing where my money is going, if that makes sense.
I would love to know that.
Yeah. So if I know someone and it can like, you know, give money, like buy their product and give money to their business.
Like straight to them.
Yeah, straight to
Yeah.
them. Rather than like giving my money to a massive corporation, I'd rather give it to someone who runs an Airbnb, and I make that connection with them and grow that relationship, and they support my business. This is someone that's rented my house, so they've already rented.
Oh, okay.
They already rented my house, so I want to like return the favor.
Like
and
pay it forward.
Yeah. So
In
it's
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
That'll be fun.
So we'll see. I'll see when I
Maybe
can
I'll
do
go
that.
with you. We can do a podcast there.
Yeah, that would
That'll
be fun. And
Would you drive? I like taking the train.
I mean, probably I would drive
Yeah.
because then I
That
don't have any
is
traffic.
nuts.
I know, yeah. My dad did that drive for a while
What drive?
from Orange County to San Diego.
No.
Yeah, that didn't last very long, but he was doing that like every day. Yeah, I don't know. It was not great, but yeah, it's a terrible drive. From Long Beach, it takes like 3 hours, I think. I guess I could take Ubers everywhere, but it's not, I don't exactly know where the Airbnb is located, so I would probably want to have my car with me.
Oh, I see. You mean take it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I might try to do that in June. I haven't fully figured that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh, I went to Tahoe. So that was
You did
fun.
go to Tahoe.
Yeah.
I haven't gone anywhere.
You haven't?
Mm-hmm.
No, you haven't.
Typical me. I'm working on it. Leave me alone.
You've been traveling more.
I've been trying to get out
recently.
more. Yeah, I've been trying to just do little things here and there, but I need to like get on a plane and like get the hell out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I noticed it. Did I tell you? I was like having a really bad week at work, And so one of my bosses, he's British. I went into his office and I closed the door and I was like, so I'm kind of over this. So bad.
Tell him how you really feel.
This is so bad. And he goes, why do you need, he's like, do you need a break? And I was like, I think I need to go on vacation because it's either I go on vacation or I burn this building to the ground. And he opens up his drawer. He's such a dick. He opens up his drawer. He grabs a box of matches and he tosses them at me. He goes, off you go. I was like, I will light this fucking place on fire. Stop playing with me. And he was like, you should go. Like, he was like, go on vacation. I was like, right. So I'm working on that. I would like to go on one before my birthday. I was really hoping to like kind of get away. I really want to go back to Big Sur.
That'd be cute.
And like me, Jake, Teddy, and Jake's dog Leo, and just the four of us, and go for a road trip.
Yeah.
Because many years ago, I did a road trip with just Teddy and I. We went to Big Sur, and it was amazing. I loved it. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I had COVID the whole time. Yeah.
It's not what
Didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Okay,
I didn't know until I
enough.
came back, and I was like, that explains a lot. But we like went hiking. Dogs are not allowed on the hikes there, but can't see me, can't stop me. Teddy went on the hike.
Yeah.
I have photos. I can send them to you to put in here.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I didn't get caught. You know what's annoying? I didn't get caught until I was about 300 feet away from where dogs could be after hiking for like 3 hours. And the guy, the fucking park ranger was like, I thought I told you. And I was like, I got lost.
That's enough. That's a good enough an excuse.
Yeah.
And he's tiny.
He's tiny.
Yeah. But no, I like was randomly driving through Long Beach and a coyote ran right in front of me. And I was just like, where the fuck are you coming from?
Damn,
Like,
my mom said she saw a coyote by her house in Culver City.
yeah, they're getting
Killed them.
very no.
They're hungry. They're hungry for food. They're hungry for little things like this.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why I would be kind of like really hesitant to take my dog, just because they're vicious. Like I grew up in a neighborhood with coyotes.
They're mean.
Yeah.
Well, they're hungry.
Yeah. They would come up whenever
Like
there
at
was
night.
whenever there was like a missing dog or missing cat. I'm
You
just
like always knew.
There's no chance that dog has made it throughout the night, unfortunately. But
This one, a Trish. He's a good one. I love him so much more when he's freshly groomed, Carkley. It's really sad, but it's true.
I was kind of like that with the poodles too.
Like I was like, oh, that's my dog. Like when I picked him up the first time on Friday, I was like, he looks like a little pig.
Yeah.
Like his head was really short, but his body was like long. And I was like, he looks like a pig.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then today, when I picked him up, I was like, there he is.
That's my dog.
Give him, hand him over. Let's go, Teddy.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. We have another guest next week.
Do we? We do.
Well,
I can't remember the schedule. Sorry.
Is it Alexa or Alexis?
Oh, I think it's Alexa. It's Alexa
okay.
Dillon.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna leave. Alexa and I have been friends for a really long time.
Okay.
But I want her to. When Alexa's here, she'll explain.
Okay.
Because I don't want to tee it up for her. Because I'm like, I love Alexa so much. I find her so fascinating.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun.
She's gluten free, like for real.
Because she has a real allergy.
She has celiac. She has like celiacs.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Yeah. But that's not her most interesting quality, I promise. But okay, let's see. Season 2, we're back.
We're back.
It's going to be a great season. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's going to be fun.
We're going to be seeing new faces, familiar faces.
Yeah.
Always my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
That was cute.